Percell
Percell
A. Robinson.
A. Robinson.
First name is spelled Percell.
Okay. Mr. Robinson, can you please spell your full name for us?
First name is Percell. Middle initial A. Last name is Robinson. Robinson.
Thank you. Before we get into the interview questions, I have a few preliminary questions for you. Can you tell me what date you worked at RCA?
Do you have to have the date? I can give you, I think payroll has me listed as a date in November of 1946.
Do you know the date when you retired?
Date that I retired? February 1st, 1984.
And what was your job title?
When I retired, technical writer and editor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How did you get your job at RCA?
Through the Armstrong Association in Philadelphia, I was first interviewed before I was terminated from or ripped from the government service after World War II. I think my last active day of work was December the 5th. But before December the 5th, I had applied for employment at RCA, but at that time RCA was not hiring new employees. Job openings were primarily held for returning World War II veterans. And I have an idea, I'm saying, I'm giving more information than you asked for here at this point.
Okay.
I have no objection to giving it to you, but I should stick with the question you asked me.
Okay, feel free to answer.
But I was first applying for employment at RCA in 1940, 1945. Excuse me. And I was hired, according to the employment data that I've seen, I was hired sometime in November of 1946 as a television tester, production line television tester troubleshooter.
Can you describe what you did at RCA?
Sure. My first job was that of a production line tester troubleshooter. And within that year, I had been assigned temporarily from time to time to train new testers coming into the plant, coming into the department. But I would return to my hired occupation of tester troubleshooter. And I maintained that, and that was on the night shift. And later, I qualified to go on the day shift, and I went on the day shift performing the same temporary services, but I did not get the promotion to Class A tester until after I had returned from military service in 1948. I was drafted under the 1948 Selective Service Act by President Harry S. Truman. And Did you ask for all this?
It's okay.
We were drafted for 21 months, but after not getting into the training programs that I was interested in, I took advantage of my qualification to come out of service as on a dependency discharge, because I was supporting both my mother and and a wife at that point. And I only served about a year and 11 days of military service, and I returned to RCA, Camden, plant.
What kind of wages and benefits did you earn at RCA?
See, we're going back to 1946. I think I started there on a night shift earning $1.25 an hour. Now, 10% had been added to the basic wage for night shift employees. So working as a night shift, I earned a total of $1.25 per hour. That was the pay for a television tester, troubleshooter at that time. Now, my promotion came after I returned from military service. And I don't remember the exact increase, but it was at least 10 cents an hour, because my assignment was one that placed me into an area where I was working with personnel, for the most part, had less training and service than I had in electronics. So I jumped from the bottom scale of Class A testers to the top wage, which was a wage I kept until I was promoted to production test setups, Class X tester, production test setup man, I think it's written, when we were production test setup specialists. And our responsibility, or our duties there, included all functions of a department except hiring and firing. We did the first piece of equipment off of the production line, and we wrote test procedures and trained Class A, well, we trained Class X testers, which was my occupation, down to the lower level of classification of tester. That position I held until 1948, when I went into engineering. I came out of the assembly plant in 48 and went into engineering as a technical writer and editor. That department later became data management. I don't remember it was once customer service, and then we became data management, and I retired from the department under the name Data Management of the Defense Electronic Products Division.
What were your relationship with your coworkers like?
For the most part, good, because I became an employee representative at one period after I went into engineering. I became my fellow co-workers drafted me to run, encouraged, persuaded me to run for the office of district chairman. And during my term of offices there, I remember having one of the largest districts in Camden plant. I had the standard district, I think, per contract was for 26 employees, and I had about 94 at one time, which was quite a size, larger than the contract, but I didn't complain. And I held that position until they pushed me into the executive board as a director of research, education, and publicity. I held that position, elected position, 12 years, I believe. And 7 years before I reached retirement, I declined to run for re-election because as an employee representative, I would have to leave the company's payroll and go on what was termed lost time. And for that lost time was for my function as an officer, union officer or employee representative. And they would have to cover my salary for the hours that I was off the company, regular hours that I was off the company payroll. During that time, I would be earning nothing, there would be nothing added to my retirement. Working on the company payroll, the company added $1 for every dollar that I contributed or that was deducted from my salary. So to build up my retirement, I felt that it was advisable for me to decline from the employee representative role as a director of research, education, and publicity, and give the company full 40 hours a week. And incidentally, it was rare that I ever had more than 20 hours a week of lost time. So I was never a full-time officer. I beg your pardon. I was not continuously as a representative, as a full-time officer, because I gave at least 20 hours plus to the company weekly.
Were there a variety of ethnic groups when you worked at RCA?
Will you repeat that question?
Were there a variety of ethnic groups when you worked at RCA?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I represented, there were members in a number of occupations. Although I was a technical writer and editor on payroll, I also was representing draftsmen. I think later years it was changed to drafters. And I also had packing equipment designers, laboratory technicians, laboratory assistants, and one time I had some test process engineers working in my district. And it was my responsibility as an employee representative to represent all people that were members of the International Federation of Professional and Technical Engineers in RCA, Camden, Plain. Now, before our international union was changed, title was changed to International Federation of Professional and Technical Engineers, it was AFTE, American Federation of Technical Engineers. And it must have been sometime in the 40s at the convention that, I beg your pardon, 40s, not 40s, the 70s, at an annual convention that I was always a representative of, that the local Union International was changed. So I retired from the Federation of the International Federation of lost IFP, International Federation of Professional and Technical Engineers, in RCA, Local 241. So the last 7 years was 100% time put on for the company, no breaks, other than sick leaves, which did come up every once in a while, and vacations.